Hello everyone. In our previous session, we discussed about the role and responsibilities of managerial economist, and in the present session, we are going to deal with the basic principles of managerial economics. So, here we have the various managerial principles like incremental principle, equip marginal principle, opportunity cost principle, discounting principle, so on. We are going to discuss uh, incremental principle in this session and the remaining in the next sessions. Okay, so let us see what is incremental principle. According to TJ Cohn, it involves estimating the impact of decision alternatives on costs and revenues. So there are two terms important here, cost and revenues, stressing the changes in total cost and total revenue. So here what is going to change? Total cost and total revenue. Why? How it's going to change is that result from changes in prices, products, procedures, investments, or whatever may be at stake in the decision. So now, for example, let us say there is increase in price of raw materials. Then what will happen? The total cost will increase. That is what is said in this definition. When there is a change in price, products, procedures, investments, whatever may be at stake in the decision, it's going to affect the total cost and total revenue. When there is change in total cost and total revenue, keeping the two factors in mind, costs and revenues, you need to take a proper decision. That is what incremental principle actually means. So, according to incremental principle, there are two basic concepts, incremental cost and incremental revenue. What is incremental cost? That is change in total cost resulting from a particular decision. What is incremental revenue? Change in total revenue resulting from a particular decision. For example, the firm has taken a decision to increase its output by 100 units. So, when they are increasing the output by 100 units, then the total cost will increase. So, there is change in total cost due to a particular decision. What is the decision? The decision taken by the firm is to increase the number of units of production. So, when the units of production increases, the total cost has increased. That is incremental cost. Change in total cost resulting from a change in a particular decision. Incremental revenue. So here the revenue is going to change because of some decision taken by the firm. So for example, they have decided to increase the selling price. So when the selling price is increased, the total revenue of the firm is increased, or else maybe the number of units sold. They are planning to increase the number of units by 100, then the revenue will also increase. So important two aspects of incremental principle is incremental revenue and incremental cost. That is increase in the total cost and increase in the total revenue. So what this principle says? This principle states that a decision is said to be rational and sound if, given the firm's objective of profit maximization, it leads to increase in profit. According to this principle, the decision what the firm takes will be treated sound if the the main objective of the firm is profit maximization and the decision what is taken leads to increase in profit. Keeping in mind the profit maximization objective of the firm, if the decision taken contributes to increase in profit, then it is considered to be a rational and sound decision. That is what this principle actually means. When a decision becomes profitable, so there are four situations here. It increases revenues more than it increases cost. So let us think that cost is increased by 5,000, revenue increased by 7,000. So there is excess of revenue 2,000, then it is profitable to the business. It reduces some cost more than it increases others. Let us consider the decision what has taken by the firm has led to increase of material cost by 2000 and a decrease of labor cost by 2000. Then there is no change in cost. So cost remaining the same, if the revenue increases, then again it will be a profitable decision to the firm. It increases some revenues more than it decreases others. So, in some parts of the business, the revenue has been decreased by 5,000, and let us assume that in some other departments or divisions, the revenue has been increased by 8,000. Then there is a net increase in the revenue. Again, it is a profitable decision. It increases cost more than it decreases. It decreases cost more than it decreases revenue. For example, the revenue decreased by 3,000. Cost decreased by 5,000. So cost has decreased more. So again the profit has increased. It has contributed to more profit. So uh, what we can say is this decision is a profitable one if there happens to be these four situations. Let us consider an example. A firm receives a new order which is estimated to bring in additional revenue of rupees 10,000. The costs are estimated as to execute the new order. The costs are as follows. The revenue estimated from the new order is 10,000. Cost involved are labor 3,000, material 4,000, overhead charges rupees 3,600, selling and administrative expenses rupees 1,400. If you add these expenses, the total cost comes to rupees 12,000. The order appears to be unprofitable because the total revenue expected is rupees 10,000. Total cost comes around 12,000. So there is a net loss of 2,000. But if there is idle capacity in the firm which can be utilized to execute this order, that means there is excess plant capacity which was already idle, and also laborers who were idle without much work, they can be made use of with less cost. So let us assume that the extra order what is being got uh, requires or involves a labor cost of rupees 2,000, materials rupees 4,000, and overhead charges rupees 1,000, because there were idle plant capacity and also idle labor capacity. That means there were already excess capacity where no extra amount of investment required. So labor required is rupees 2,000, materials 4,000, overhead rupees 1,000. So the total cost is rupees 7,000. So the revenue expected from this new order is 10,000. Cost involved is 7,000. So there is a profit of rupees 3,000. So if you compare the incremental revenue with the incremental cost, incremental revenue of the new order is 10,000, incremental cost is 7,000. There is a incremental profit of 3,000. The order can be accepted on the basis of incremental reasoning. So, what the incremental decision says, the increase in revenue is more than the increase in cost. The decision can be accepted and it is profitable to the business. It contributes to the profit maximization objective of the business. Then, the limitations of this principle is that the concept cannot be generalized because the observed behavior of the firm is always variable. The situation of the firms differs. It doesn't remain the same. So, this concept cannot be generalized to all the business situations. And the concept can be applied only when there is excess capacity in the concern. If it is leading to extra costs again, then it may not be profitable as it is seen in the first case. Only if there is idle plant capacity or unutilized labor capacity which were idle, then only this concept is applicable. And the concept is applicable only during the short period. So, because we know in economics, in the long period, all variables are going to change. So, these are the limitations of this incremental principle. So, in the next class or in the next session, we will discuss about opportunity cost principle. Thank you.